3 months of basic training in the Army was the hardest but my happiest time of my life, and I'm going to share why with you that is. After joining when I was 21 years old, today I'm 33 years old, I've been out for years now. I finally realized a few years ago why I was so much happier, and I didn't have depression, I didn't have anxiety or stress or any of the problems that us normal average Americans have today in this crazy world. Life was just so much simpler. You only had a bed, you had the clothes that you needed, the same color uniforms, your combat uniform, and then you had your physical training uniform, and it was all the same. You didn't have decision fatigue. Oh, what am I going to wear today? No, you knew exactly what you were going to wear that day. And so that made that super easy. You weren't comparing yourself to other people and what they're wearing. You didn't have to worry about what anybody thought because you all wore the same stuff every single day. And you woke up early, you exercised. People forced you every single day to exercise. You didn't have to wonder if you're going to do that. You're on a tight schedule. Every hour on the hour, you're doing something. And you didn't have to keep yourself accountable every day. Somebody did that for you for the most part. The exercise wasn't just simple walking. It wasn't, doing a few push-ups here and there. No, it was constant exercise. I mean, running miles and miles in the early morning. You were being challenged on a daily basis. And after PT, after the physical training, maybe I ran 6 miles. Well, the whole rest of the day, everywhere I went, when I went from the barracks to the chow hall, you were running the whole time. Everywhere you went, you had to run with everything you had. We had a rifle, and you'd run with your rifle to chow. You were doing obstacle courses, which was actually hard, but it was fun at the same time. You were being challenged with your peers. You had to work together in teams. You were building relationships. You were bonding through these difficult times. You weren't glued to these phones all the time, these glowing screens that we're all addicted to. You didn't have that, so you were forced to actually talk and communicate with other people. The drill sergeants would make you do really scary things like rappelling off a 40-foot wall. Now, for somebody like me, I was scared of heights and, terrified of heights, but I did it. And if I never joined the military, I don't know if I ever would have done something like that if somebody didn't force me into doing it. I was able to accomplish things that I never thought was going to be possible in my life. When I was a teenager, I had teachers tell me that I was never going to be anything more than a burger flipper. And there I was, enlisted in the military, accomplishing many things, became a sergeant and, had great success. And I just learned a lot of valuable lessons from the military. There was a lot of downsides, but there's too many things that are great that you can take away from it and learn if you choose to do so, if you decide to learn from it. So what is the biggest point about this video? How does it help you? How can this help you at all? You got to understand that when you're on your own, you don't have anybody pushing you to do all these things. You're not going to have a drill sergeant. If you don't go into the Army, you're not going to learn the benefits of all these things. If you don't learn to have self-discipline, if you continue to only pursue things that make you feel good, that instant gratification, that pleasure, the comfort, and you never challenge yourself to do anything difficult or hard, and I mean really hard, things that you really hate to do and are scared to do, physically and mentally, you're just going to struggle to be happy. And if you're struggling with depression, anxiety, and stress, it's because of these simple things. You're not outside enough. Your exercise is either none or not hard enough. You're sitting in a desk job all day and never spending any time touching grass. You need to be in nature. You need to be also around people, building relationships, not on this phone that you're on 24/7. Relationships through the phone is not what your brain and it's not what your brain needs. You need more than that. You need deeper connections. You don't need a lot of friends, just, a small circle of somebody that you can call when you're struggling and having a hard time. Having a simple life, less things will give you the ability to focus on things that really matter, like your family. If you're always dealing with clutter and BS in your house that you're cleaning up, it just limits your amount of time where you can just say, hey kids, or hey husband or wife, like, let's just pack up, hop in a car and go to the beach for the day. Most of the time you're gonna probably get overwhelmed and not want to do those things because you're so focused on cleaning up the crap and maintaining the crap. You're mowing the lawn, you bought this big house, you got to sweep and mop it. You feel like you have to do all these things. Maybe you got a motorcycle that you have to take care of now, and it just takes away all your time to do the important things in life. So we're all different. We all value different things, and I'm not here to tell you what you should do or that you should take my advice, but there's a lot of valuable lessons to learn from people that have been there and done that. And instead of recreating the wheel and trying to do everything on your own, just know that there's people out there that can help you, and you can learn the bad things, what not to do, and then you can learn the good things that you want to do from people, And it's really unfortunate because schools and most parents don't actually teach kids about life. They don't teach about what to do with your money. They teach you how to add money, but they don't teach you what to do with it. They don't talk to you about assets and liabilities. They don't talk to you about simplicity and how simplicity can lead to a happier, more fulfilling life. They don't tell you that doing harder things and staying away from comforts and pleasures and leaning more towards difficult things is going to make you happier. They don't talk to you about that stuff. They don't talk to you about what really causes depression and anxiety and stress. They just teach you what you need to know to do good at your job, and that's about it. But that's a very small portion of your life. So after watching this video, focus more, like Jim Rohn says, if you've ever read his books or listened to his audio tapes, you need to focus on yourself and bettering yourself more than you do your job. I hope you like this video. If you do, hit the like button, share it with a friend or family member. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care.